I don't know what's going on, Rebecca. Hang on. Hey guys, Rebecca's talking. She's the only one. She booted me off. She don't want nothing to do with me. No, we're actually trying to do. Yeah, but I want to. I want to do the. You know what I mean? Like the
No,
way.
I know what you mean.
Like what's going on? Why can't I do that? It's such a pain in the ass. My coffee's making noise. That's what's going on there.
Oh, I can't even hear it.
It makes a lot of noise. It's a chullux. It kind of makes a chullux sound. I don't know how to change this. Let me see. We had it last time, so I don't get it. Anyway, let's talk. How you doing? What's going on?
I got a lot going on, but probably nothing that pertains to what we talk about. Well, life stuff, but I
Well,
don't
life
know.
stuff is exactly what we talk about. I guess we should say hi to everybody in the comments because
Yes.
they're here. Well, do you mind? I'm late. It's not a great day for me. I just need to put some sugar in my coffee because I ran out of my sugared creamer. And I'll be right around the corner. I mean, my place is only 33
Okay.
feet.
So I'm glad all of you are here. I'm not Toddie, so it's hard for me to look and see who's actually here. But I see Puff Stitch,
I am Toddie one skip. You're not.
Milk Honey, and Mayhem is here. Shorty Pie, Kathleen. I know I'm missing people, but we're just so happy that you're all here. If I missed you, it's not purposely. It's just I'm not good at going through the chat and being on at the same time. I can't multitask, unfortunately. But I just want to start out by saying Toddie and I are not counselors. We have no license to give any information or can't refer you anywhere. We could just give you just what we know, just life experience. So please don't ever take away from here thinking, that we gave you legitimate advice. I mean, we can just tell you what we know and things that have happened to us in life. So
We offer opinions.
It's our opinion. And, so I never want anybody to think that because we said it, that it's golden, because
in other words, don't go anywhere and say, I went to therapy today.
Right. Because this is definitely not therapy. It's just a bunch of friends sitting around drinking coffee, tea, or whatever you drink, smoke, your whatever your normal Monday morning routine is. It just includes us, and we're just people who are here to talk to anybody who wants to talk, listen, whatever. So I just wanted to clarify that. I don't want anybody ever to think that I personally have no background in mental health, addiction, or any of that. I just have life experience. So that's what we're all about. I don't know if anybody has anything they want to share before I go into I always have something to share because my life
I do.
Toddie has something, but she's making her coffee right now. I don't know if she's on the floor. I saw her and then she went down. There she is. I thought you fell down.
And you left me there?
Well, I couldn't get to you. You got to have that call button.
All right. So if you give me a second, why don't you share your thing and I'll share. I'm going to get ready to share mine. Share yours. I want to actually put up something when I share mine. So you go ahead and share yours.
Well, it's kind of personal. And most people here know pretty much everything about my life because it's been out on Facebook and in, social media and a lot of news places too, because of my grandson's story. But even during that time, I don't think any of you are aware that I have I'm not married, but I have a partner in life, but I don't talk about him much because he's pretty much non-existent. So that's why I don't feel the need to share him with everybody. But, we're having a situation where I do believe I will be backing up a U-Haul and moving him out of my life very shortly. Over the last 5 or 6 years, he was an alcoholic and I saved him, so to speak. He came into my life. I realized he had a major problem. it wasn't going to work in my life because I can't handle things like that. So he went to rehab numerous times. And the last straw was there was a little domestic violence involved on both parts. He hit me and I defended myself. And him being under the influence, he got the worst end of it because he was wobbly and he fell and hurt himself. And with that being said, he packed up and drove drunk to what I later found out was a very nasty motel. And I found him 3 days later, and the hotel room door was open, and he was laying on top of the bed with nothing on, and the room was a mess. His prescription medications were everywhere, alcohol bottles everywhere, and I couldn't wake him up. I called an ambulance, and they came and they took him to the hospital, and I proceeded to go around the room and collect his belongings, which consisted of, like I said, alcohol bottles, pills, a very special ring that I had given him, used condoms. He had a little party, his wallet, everything. So after cleaning up and arguing with the motel staff about, I don't know what, I left there and I went to the hospital, to the emergency room. And the social worker, before I could see him, took me into her office and said, he's an asshole. Like, they hated him. I didn't realize that he had been to the emergency room so many times for these alcohol-induced visits, we'll say. And the social worker there was like, he's ridiculous. Like, he's here all the time. And, so whatever. I finally get back to see him, and he was awake. And he said, I messed up this time. And I'm like, you mess up all the time. What's different now? And he didn't go into any detail. Well, I had his phone, his debit card and everything. So when I got home, I found out just how badly he had messed up. He had 2 escorts. I read the text messages, paid for God. 2 women to come and service. I don't know what, because it didn't work before he went there. So I don't know what he serviced them with or what they did for him. But anyway, he claims, when I confronted him with this, he claims nothing happened. And he went to rehab and stayed for a very long time. And while he was away, I moved out of the apartment we shared and moved to a different place. I was done. But then everything started happening with my grandson, the custody, the abuse, with my grandson and his father. And I just couldn't handle everyday life. So I allowed him back in, because at least I knew I'd put my money in the bank. He'll make sure the bills get paid, because I couldn't handle that because of what we were dealing with. So fast forward to now, he's not drinking anymore and hasn't had a drink since, I don't know, 2020, I guess. But it seems that he's upped his prescription medication intake. And I know they're prescribed, and that's fine, but you can still abuse prescription medication. And I feel that's what he's doing. And me personally, my son had an addiction problem and died from an overdose. But I can't be with someone who's struggling with that. Personally, I can't do it. I mean, some people can handle it. Some people may think I'm being ridiculous, but I don't have any room in my life for someone like him, because he's not contributing to anything. He works every day. He does nothing around the house that I just bought. I'm having to pay handymen to come around because he sleeps on his day off from work. He does nothing. We have no relationship. He's just taking up space. And I've made the decision that at this time in my life, I don't want to do that. I want to stay in my bed by myself. He's not paying any bills. He's not doing anything around the house. He's not doing a damn thing for me. And all I can think about, I go back to that day, finding out that he paid 2 whores to come and service him. And I can't get over that. And I'm realizing that now, after going through the trial with Corey. Now my mind is starting to be more clear. I'm starting to be able to focus on me again. And I have not forgotten that. I just put it to the side while I dealt with something else. And now I don't want to do that. He is a drug addict. He just gets his medication from his drug dealer, happens to be a doctor. And I'm not okay with that. But that's my story. Any input, anybody? I know I went on for, I probably put everybody to sleep.
No, you didn't. I'm on another screen, so I'm just trying to do something to add to the channel for me. But I listened to the whole thing. I'm just on another screen. But
And
I think you did the right thing. I don't think
I never
anybody
shared this with anybody. I was embarrassed that I'm going through this,
and every week we tell everybody they shouldn't be embarrassed for stuff
Right.
like that, right? So, but I get it. I mean, because nobody wants people to see behind the curtain. It's not just you. You know that, right?
Right. No, exactly. And, I feel I'm being taken advantage of,
Well, if you're doing all that, honey, you are. I mean, then you are.
I pay the mortgage. I pay all the utilities. I buy all the food. I pay for all the maintenance in the house. He doesn't even change a light bulb. I kid you not. When I say to him, that light's not working, I think it needs a light bulb. Well, call Roy. Roy's the guy, the contractor that's been at my house doing work since I moved in. And I keep saying, I can't afford to call Roy for every little thing. Like, that's what the man of the house.
Why should you have? Exactly. I mean, that's really ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
he does really nothing and won't give me any money. And I put him on the couch last week and I removed all the food from the house. I removed the laundry detergent, the toilet paper. I wanted him to see. I wanted him to struggle, and he had to sleep on the couch. I wouldn't let him in my room. I did none of that. And so that was 3 or 4 days. And then on day 4, are we going to talk? I said, are you going to give me some money? Or are you going to start being a partner and not a roommate?
Right.
Yeah, I'm working on everything, whatever. I'll give you, I got paid Friday. I'll give you whatever. Well, it's Monday. And when I talk about it, he gets mad. Can't talk about the pills he takes because he gets mad. We had a little outburst where he even said to me, Gino put needle in his arm and he died. Your son died. He was an addict. And that you can't do that to me.
Yeah. Well, he's an addict too. I mean, there's people that
doesn't see it that way.
People that die without putting anything in their veins.
Yeah.
And we know this, know this.
That was very hurtful. I think that's, that really put me over the edge, saying that about my son, because that's not fair. As
it should. That he shouldn't have been brought up into that. He should not have been brought up into that. Let's take that down for a minute.
It's hard to get rid of someone or something that you've had for so many years, because he's bonded with my granddaughter, and she calls him Pop-Pop, and it's like, is that enough to keep him around? She'll forget about him.
Are you reading the comments?
No, I can't.
So somebody wrote, a roommate does a lot more, just so you know.
Yeah, they even pay rent, don't they? I took on this hefty mortgage, but everything was me. The down payment on the house, the inspections on the house, the repairs on the house, the painting of the house, the carpet. I paid for all of that. And he gets to sit back, and the whole thing over this weekend, we were, going back and forth. I can't say we argue, because he just doesn't listen. And, after everything I said about, I need money for this, I need. Do you know what he told me he needs? He needs a few sessions at a tanning bed. His tan is fading. That's what he needs.
Well,
like Malibu Ken. He thinks he's a damn Ken doll, Ken
dolls don't have to pay for it.
He thinks he's a kept man,
But he is a kept man.
Yeah, well, I told him I don't even know if I should say this on here, but maybe I said no money.
Wait. Think it through, because once it's on here, it's on here. And as your friend.
Right. But I explained to him, no money, no entertainment in the bedroom whatsoever. Why are you here? You do nothing around the house. And I'm not looking for someone to entertain me in the bedroom. I like to sleep, and I'm okay with that at my age. I don't need that. But I would like a partner who can randomly say, hey, let's go grab something to eat. Do you know what? He told me he can't go out to eat because then he'll want to drink.
Can I just tell you something?
Sure.
So you got to get him out of there, because some states won't even let you move somebody out of your house once they're living there for any period of time and get mail there.
Right.
whether
Well,
you
I went to,
whether they pay or they don't pay.
right. I consulted with an attorney, and it looks like I'm going to have to get an attorney. And, there are 3 different ways we can do this, the attorney said. So, I'm working on it, but it's going to cost me more money, instead of him just saying, you know what, you're right. I didn't put any money down on the house. I paid for nothing. I've yet to pay for anything. I'm just going to go. He'll say to me, he has said it to me, this is my house. Good luck. Like, good luck getting me out of here. Because he knows the law. He knows it's going to be very hard.
Okay. So you got to keep your cool because he could get you kicked out of that house. You know that,
He was
right?
trying. He's trying to provoke me. And
Yeah. So that's not good.
no.
So, you're going to have to do something and quickly because he's not fighting fair.
No.
He's not fighting fair.
No, he's just, when I left and moved, when he went to rehab and I moved out of the place we lived in before he got out, I should have never brought him back into my life.
But you can't go back. But you can't go back in time.
There's
you got
nothing I can do about it.
Because you spent all this money on a house that you wanted to call a home. It's not going to be a home with that man in it.
No, it's not. He makes it so upsetting and depressing. And, the days that I put him on the couch, I looked around my bedroom and it was a happy place without him in it. Even though he was downstairs, he wasn't in my space, like it was just, and
what you should have done was you should have let him stay gone and you should have changed the locks. That's what you should have done. And then when he tried to get back in, you could have said, he abandoned me. He abandoned a week ago. I'm paying everything. No, I'll give him his stuff, but he's not welcome to come back. Yeah, and when that happens, that's what you need to do again.
Yeah, I think that's what it's coming to. I don't like to get, I would just like him to just agree and just.
But he would need a lawyer at that point, Rebecca. You wouldn't.
Yeah, he's never going to get an attorney. He can't afford it because he also has another addiction, gambling, DraftKings and some other gambling site that I see that he's on. That's where his whole paychecks go. So he gave up alcohol for gambling and the prescription medication. And, I feel like a hypocrite. I'm on here preaching about addiction and I'm living with someone who is addicted to medication. And he doesn't really have an actual injury that I could say they should keep him on that medication for. About 15 years ago, he hurt his ankle and he's still taking medication.
For the ankle?
Yeah, he had surgery on it. And I don't know any doctor I do know several doctors that continue to prescribe. I guess because he's not abusing them, because he's not there beating their door down, asking for more before it's time. But I see the behavior at home. I see him spread his medication out and count it when it's getting close to, the end of it before I can't deal with that. That's a behavior I can't live through. I can't do it again. I can't watch this. And he's got to go. He's just got to go.
Tree hugger, I agree with that. I don't want to put it up there. Not because she would do that. I'd be afraid. I think that he's going to try to do that. And I don't want to give any ideas. So I'm not going to put that out there. But I'm going to talk to her offline about that. Because I just don't want that stuff online. Because I don't want anybody giving anybody ideas about that. But I read your comment. And that would be a concern of mine too. It doesn't matter whose house it doesn't matter whose property the house is in. If they've been living there as a couple and he gets mail there.
Yeah.
Not New York State. She lives in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah. I mean, I already know. I've inquired. I've spoken with the attorney. We've done a phone call.
That I agree with.
I know what my options are. It's just I have to follow through with it. I was going to give him the opportunity to redeem himself and do better. But, it just didn't happen. And I don't think it's going to happen. And yeah, I see Kathleen said it's not good for my granddaughter. I just want to make something clear. There's never any drugs around my granddaughter. There's never a question that she's not safe in my home. He's not violent towards anybody. We have our moments where we have heated conversations, but that's when nobody's around. It's not even around my adult children. I don't do that. So my granddaughter is perfectly safe. I would never put her in harm's way. She'll never see an argument. She'll never see any medication in reach or anybody under the influence with her.
So I need you to read what Jamie put down. It's funny. I mean, it's not funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. And my mind went there too, to be honest with you. But that's what was funny about it. I'm sorry. Today's not my day. Somebody wrote. Did you read what Jamie wrote? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
And this is what Broken Doll Skyrockets. Broken Doll Skyrockets. I like that. That's a hell of a combination. Those two together. Those two words.
Yeah.
Hey, Angela, Stacia, how you doing? Kathleen.
Yeah, he is very, very cunning and charming. But, the thing is, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, he was a very good looking man and very charming. And, with the lifestyle that he has with the medication and stuff, it changed him even physically. But he doesn't see those changes. So when he looks in the mirror, he sees Malibu Ken. And he's not. He's a washed up has-been, and it's sad that he doesn't see what he's done to himself.
Yeah, but it's not about looks. If he treated you with respect and made you feel important, his looks wouldn't be important.
No,
Am I
and
right?
he used to be very good to me. I had a back injury and he would always make sure, are you comfortable? He would get me a heating pad. He would rub my back. He would do things. And he changed once I bought this house. I think he felt like I got it now. I'm in. We're in a house that we own.
You don't think for 15 years that man loved you at all?
I think he did, but I think he resents me.
It's a long haul here.
Yeah,
and
no, I think
I don't know this man, and I believe everything you're saying, but you've seen a lot of tragedy. And he's been there, right? And you're not rich by any means. You said, I'm not rich by any means. So there was something that made him, maybe something's happened now, and I believe that, but don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. I hate when people do that. Just because you're going to think about it at another time. At another time, at your weak moment, you'll think, oh, I remember that wonderful time. Remember the wonderful time now alongside the rotten time.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, he was good to me for quite some time, but now I think he's built up resentment because he has even said to me, you made me quit drinking. And when I drank, that was my courage and I was social and I was happy. So he resents me for that because I said to him, you can continue to drink, but you can't do it around me and in my house, and we will no longer be together because he was nasty when he would drink.
Okay. Yeah.
And he resents me for making him stop drinking, I think. And I didn't make him. It was his choice.
No, not at all. It wasn't even his choice. It was your choice.
Right.
You just said, I can't do this.
Right. I said he could do what he wants, but it wasn't going to be around me.
Right.
And so when he went into rehab, they have the little family sessions and the counselor would call me. And, when it was getting closer to him getting ready to come out, they called me and wanted to talk about his discharge plan. And I said, well, why are you calling me? Well, he's coming back to you, right? I said, no, I moved. I said, that apartment doesn't even exist. I broke the lease. I moved out. He's not coming with me. I was serious when I said we were done.
Right.
And, the counselor there was like, oh, he's done so well. He even stayed extra because he wanted to, make sure he was okay to go back home to you and the family. And, she poured it on really thick. And
well, the thing is that they have to do work. They have to keep them there. They're not, they got to find a place for him if that's what they're thinking. You know what I'm saying?
But
so,
he never, once he came out of, rehab, he came out of treatment. He never went to another meeting. He never did it, any work, and he hasn't had a drink as far as I know. Well, no, I'm lying. At social gatherings, I've seen him have a drink, but that was when we would go out socially, but we haven't done that in many years. We don't leave the house together. He comes home from work and goes right to his room and goes to bed. So, we don't go out socially, but I know that he has had a drink since becoming sober, but he's not that raging alcoholic. He'll have a drink and that's it, and not do it again.
Because if he's drinking on pain medicine, that's a different high.
Yeah, exactly. But so I'm certain he's not drinking again. I haven't seen any evidence of it, but it's just the medication. It changed him, and I don't think he's aware of it. And when I try to talk about it, he gets defensive. So it's really hard to talk about with him. And he tells me, "You made me stop drinking. Now this." And I try to explain that I feel like the medication is now he's taking it more often and depending on it because he's not drinking, and he swapped one behavior for another. And I can't handle any of it. I've been through too much of this, and it's just not something in my adult life with my partner that I'm willing to deal with. I need somebody I can depend on. And when you go home and you're in a relationship with somebody, you want to feel safe. And I'm not saying I don't feel safe because of him, but security. Like, right. This is our home and everything is good.
And listen, I don't think that that's what that person meant. That's what I think Kathleen meant, was that, it's not fair to have a child get attached to somebody and then have that person leave. I think that's
and that's what I'm struggling with.
But I want to say something because I have to. I told you the story about my dad and his girlfriend and that whole ordeal because I wasn't going to let her drive the kids around. When somebody on medication, if they've taken too much, their judgment's off a little bit. So even if they pick up your granddaughter and they accidentally, fall or trip, or the balance might be off, that could be because of that medication. And if something were to happen and that person appeared messed up on that medication, wouldn't it be the medication? So I don't think that person meant, that they would physically harm or drop pain pills on the floor, which could happen too. When you're not paying attention, you're saying the guy, and I'm not beating on you, I'm just opening you up to it, because when somebody is out counting their pills, what if they miss a pill? What if they miss a pill and your dog takes that pill or your granddaughter takes that pill just because they missed it? I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I do that with my medication, but not because of that. I just want to know, when do I have to call to have it? You know what I mean? When do I need to call? Or, and it's all my medication, my blood pressure medication. I do it with my aspirin, my baby aspirin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't really mean anything, but still what I'm saying is I have by accident, have left something and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I always double check, thank God.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? But that stuff can happen and it's dangerous if that happens. So, anyway, I don't think she meant somebody physically harming.
Yeah, no, I got it. But, yeah, I just, I don't know where it's going to end up, and how things are going to be, but.
This is so true, Jeanette, right there. If it's over between them, she doesn't need to go to Al-Anon, in my opinion. Al-Anon is to keep the relationship going and understanding why somebody is and accepting them who they are. This seems like it's almost over, that it's over. When
I just
feel through Al-Anon, they have to be actively wanting to keep the relationship going. Otherwise, they don't need to go. They have to want to do that. It doesn't. And Rebecca, you know about Al-Anon, right?
Yeah. I've been there. I've seen and been to meetings, and I personally, I don't want to join Al-Anon. I don't want to do any of that. I just don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's about that. Just, it's my choice. I have no interest in learning about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to deal with them. It's
Ridiculous got a good little comment down here. Hey, Edie.
yeah. Yeah. Nope. I just, I don't want to go to a support group. I have you guys on Mondays and I shared my story and that's good enough for me. And I have no interest in going to Al-Anon or anything. I don't want to learn about his disease. I don't want to. I understand addiction. I'm here to talk about it with you people, but I don't want to live it. And it's
that takes work, and you would be working on his recovery with him. And again,
right.
You have to want to do that. If it's not a relationship you want, then there's no point in doing that work with that person. I'm just being honest.
No, you're right.
It makes no sense because going there, they give you work, Al-Anon. They give you work. So,
and being with him is mentally exhausting. I'm always like stressed, and every conversation, we don't talk like in the house. I'll talk to him when he goes to work at 1, so I might call or text him after 1. And that's how we communicate. And it always ends up in an argument because now he's at work and he can't deal with this, because he's a car salesman. So he's doing brain surgery. So I can't interrupt that, and he just always has an excuse not to address the issues, and he tells me that I want to control everything. And I guess in a sense, I can see where he's coming from, that it looks like I'm trying to control. And I say, not control, but manage. I know how much money I have. I know what needs to be paid every month. And I know what it costs to keep this house up. And I know that there are maintenance things that you do weekly around your house, if not daily. And he's not doing any of those. So when I address him and say, hey, can you do this? He doesn't do it. The second time I might say, are you ever going to do that? The third time, yeah, I probably do seem a little bossy. Because I'm having to ask you 3 times to do something simple around the house that we're supposed to make a home.
Right.
And, so he says, I just want to control everything. And I said, I made the comment that somebody has to. I mean, you're not my partner in this. We're the grown-ups here. Let's make this happen. It shouldn't be that difficult, to have this house and maintain it and keep it up and running. And I'm finding every month I'm doing it by myself.
Right.
With no financial, nothing from him. And, he'll spend $100 at Walmart on some groceries occasionally. Well, I bought the food this week. I said, $100? That was for a day. Are you kidding me? You don't see the price that, that's your contribution. Do you know how much it costs to maintain this house every month? He has no idea. He doesn't even know when the mortgage is due or who you pay it to. I don't want to babysit. I've had children. I've raised my children. I don't want to raise a 50-something-year-old man. I can't do it. And he's, he'll say, well, I'm fine with how things are. Yeah, because you're living free. You're living life.
And doing whatever the hell he wants, apparently.
Right. And I think
this is an important message down here. The one that I tapped up. I tacked up there.
Right. And, I forgave him even after finding out what he did with the paid women. Well, he didn't admit to doing anything. He said he didn't, but the physical evidence, I don't claim to be CSI, but
listen, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. You said his Peter didn't work. He probably didn't do anything. He probably hired a couple women to do something in front of him.
With condoms? With,
Well, it doesn't mean it worked in that he actually did anything.
Well,
it doesn't work. It's a job. I'm trying to make a little bit light of the situation.
Without becoming too graphic, the condoms were very used.
Okay. They were used. That's all you had to say.
Yeah. So somebody finished up in there somewhere, the way I see it. And whether he physically touched them or not, when you're in a committed relationship, to me, even corresponding in a certain way online is cheating in my book.
That's totally wrong. I don't think that was right. You just said it didn't work, and he said nothing happened. So I was just saying maybe nothing happened.
Right. It didn't work for me because he always reminded me that I wasn't in his league, because he's a Ken doll and I'm not a Barbie.
I don't know why you would put up with that at all, Rebecca.
Well, like I said, he was drinking and he would say hateful things, and then he went away and I moved out, and then I started going through things, and it was just easier to have someone to rely on, because at least
never turn a temporary situation into a permanent situation.
And see, that's what happened. Life went on and we had all these horrible things happen, and he was just there. And it was easier than not having someone there, I guess. Even though he supported me, he didn't come to court and things, but at least I knew, okay, he made sure the rent was paid when we were renting at the time. He made sure the electric got paid. He helped in that sense, but it was with my money. It wasn't like it was all his money that was paying it. I was still putting the money in the bank to pay the bills. I just didn't have the mind
to do it
about it.
So he just made sure that
he held down the fort. He did,
and he made sure that he had electric and he had everything he needed. And it just so happened to be you got it too at that time.
Right. Exactly. And, it's, I just think it's time if things, can't improve, it's time. I tell him all the time, maybe you're going to find somebody who equals you out, like, and maybe I will too.
Tell him that you found a good looking, what's Ken's grandpa's name?
Who?
The Ken doll. Doesn't
the Ken doll?
You have a dad? Like, I would just say, that's all right. I'm with Ken's dad now. I like him better than Ken.
Yeah, I just, I sit and think about it, and I really think I just want to be alone and enjoy my family right now. And, I used to feel like I needed to have a partner in life. I felt weak and like I couldn't be alone. I hated being alone, but I don't know if you get older and things change, but I'm okay with it. I would be perfectly fine not having him in the house. I mean, to me, I just don't need that anymore. If I want companionship, there are plenty of single men that I see that I know on Facebook that are always, I'm at the diner. Anybody want to join me? I could run out and hang out with those people.
Well, be careful. You got to make sure you know these people.
Oh, yeah. It would only be people I know. And there's several men that I see on Facebook that I've known for 100 years. I'm not interested in them romantically and they're not in me, but I see a lot of times, I'm at whatever diner, I'm having something to eat, somebody come and sit with me, I'm going here, anybody want to go? I can jump and go if I need companion.
And let me tell you something, I just want to put something out here. There's nothing wrong with going out and eating by yourself either. Nobody thinks that much of you that they're sitting there saying, why is that person eating all alone? Do they not have a friend in the world? Like, seriously, nobody's that fucking important. And when you are that important, they think, man, they need peace. They got to get away from everybody. So you see what I'm saying? You can't live your life by the way other people view you. I've traveled the world, not the whole world, but I've traveled to England, Scotland, Wales, Hungary, Vienna. I traveled to those places by myself. I hooked up with my uncle in Vienna and we went to Hungary together, but I went to Vienna by myself. I've been to, and I never once thought somebody sees me in this airplane for 8 hours. I'm sitting here by myself. Do they think I don't have a friend in the world? I must be an awful person. No, not at all. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's how we live, not how people view us. I mean, that can't dictate how we live. Otherwise, we will always be a prisoner of somebody else's.
Right.
And we just can't do that. I'm not doing that. I think I've made it clear to people, like people that have had any kind of interest in me. I don't plan on sharing my life with anybody. I'm done with that. I don't miss it. I don't want it. I have friends. I'm happy with my friends. I have affection with my friends as far as if I need a hug for the day, because we do need human touch.
Right.
And we do need to keep our minds active, and we do need people to keep us in check. And some people, church is important. I like church. I wish the preacher was back there, but she moved away, so now I gotta listen to this stuff. But I'm saying, like, whatever grounds us, whatever makes us happy, whatever kind of community we want to build, that's our business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live my life for people saying anything like that. That's just
Right.
you can't.
Yeah, I just I'm over it. I'm at an age where I want to live life. He's not willing. I could even, if he contributed a small amount monthly, he doesn't make a ton of money. And I knew that. I always knew that. We struggled together. And I happened to be able to buy this home not too long ago because, let's face it, rent is high. So it was cheaper to have a mortgage, and it's your own home. And, that was a good opportunity for me. And of course, he came along with it. I'm not asking for a lot. I just want that person who communicates with me, who, if randomly I say, let's go to breakfast, he'll go. He can't do any of that. He won't do any of that. He won't go anywhere. He won't leave the house. We don't go on trips. We used to go down the shore to the beach for a week or a weekend. Haven't done that in 2 years, 3 years. He just wants to come home. He has his little briefcase with his medications in it, always strapped to him. It's one of Ken's accessories, I call it, his little man bag. And he's content to come in and go upstairs to bed, get in his pajamas and get in bed. Like he lives there by himself. If he could just give me a little time, do the things around the house to maintain it without having to be told or asked, give me a little time and a little financial support. I mean, I think that's every relationship is built on all of those things, and we have none of it. But he's happy. He'll tell you, if you called him today, Toddie, he'd say, everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. She's fine. Everything's fine.
Of course. Because it doesn't matter to him. I mean, but you're going to keep doing this for as long as you want to do it. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because you're the only one that can say, it's time to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I just, I'm at that point, and like I said,
this is so true. This is so true. I only read the first sentence. Hang on, not that one. I didn't read that one yet. This one.
No, yeah, that's very true. You're right. Yep. And it is hard to change it now because he's so used to me. He knows, oh, she'll get over it tomorrow. She'll forget about it. She'll be fine. Yeah, and he tries that.
Because you've taught him that. I don't mean to beat you up, but that's exactly what she was saying. Because you've taught him that's the way you are.
I know, because every time I would say I'm serious this time, he would come in the next day after work and kiss me on the forehead and like Mr. Lovey, and then 3 hours later it was him in bed and I'm not there, like to eat, not just to watch TV with or have a conversation with. It doesn't happen. And, so you're right. I allow it to continue. And this is what I led him to believe he could do to me all along. And he can, and he has. But I'm at the point now, and I've been for a long time, and my kids are adults, and, my adult daughters, we talk about this, and, they're all in agreement with me that, it's not working and it's taking its toll on me, and they can see it, and it's time to move on. And like I said, that doesn't mean I'm opening the door for someone else to move in and take his place. I don't need anybody.
Hold on a
because
second.
I learned something.
Hold on one second. Carol, have a good day. And there's no offense taken. Have a good day.
Oh, sorry.
No. It's okay. It's okay. That's okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to recognize her and just say that's cool. Thank you for that.
No, I
totally respect it. That's okay.
I feel bad that I triggered something though, but it happens in these chats. I mean, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I know what I need to do. Like I said, I consulted with an attorney by phone last week, and I'm going to follow through. I was just giving him the opportunity to get himself in order, because when we're good together, we're good together. Do you know what I mean? I give him that. When we're good, we're good. We can make things happen and have a nice life, but it's just me pulling all the weight, and it's bringing me down. And I'm not, I can't tell him to stop taking his pain medication because he legitimately thinks he has pain, and maybe he does. I can't tell him he has to stop that, and I know that, but I can remove myself from it if it makes me uncomfortable, and that's where we're at. I think that's the reason why he's not doing things around the house or having any life outside of going to bed with that bag, that prescription, all those prescriptions, because I don't know what those medicines do when you take them all together, but obviously it makes him not able to function once he gets home from work. You
don't know what he's doing in his room. You're not getting any money. You're assuming he's going in there going to sleep. He could be masturbating to any porn site in the world.
Well, he could be, and telling me that it doesn't work because he got an injection of Vivitrol 6 years ago. And and I've called every doctor. I've done research. One shot of Vivitrol cannot make you not be able to perform. So, but that's not even if he could never perform again, you could still have a relationship with somebody. That wouldn't be
absolutely you can. There are people that are married, and I mean, look at Christopher Reeve. The guy fell off a horse and was completely paralyzed. His wife stayed with him, and I don't think it was because it was Christopher Reeve. I think it was because she loved her husband.
Right.
That happens. Of course that happens.
Right.
I mean, things happen in life. People, I mean, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a reason to leave somebody, but they have to be giving you back. They have to be adding more benefit. It doesn't have to be financial. It should be well-rounded, and it should be more even. And as long as they're doing that, then the relationship can grow. If one person is taking all the water from the other plants, what happens? I mean, the other plants die.
They die. Yeah. But you're right. He could be doing that. And I'm sure he probably is, because he was, when I first met him, he was on all these different like dating sites and stuff. And, I know his drive, I guess we'll say. I can't imagine that he just lost it after being a
That's what I'm thinking, my girlfriend, right there. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, my girl. Where'd that go? Where'd that go?
That to him, like, I'd make a joke. I'm like, you used to be running around with that thing in your hand, taking a picture, sending it to anybody that would take it, and now all of a sudden you shut down business. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh, it's that shot. You made me go to rehab and I had to get that shot to come out, or you weren't going to let me come out of there. And that ruined me. I said, you did one injection of Vivitrol. It's that shot that lasts for 30 days that people get to stay, I guess, so they don't drink or do. I don't know a lot about it. But I even called certain doctors and they said one injection of Vivitrol is not going to make someone have that issue. And I've been told by other doctors, even if he took it monthly, it doesn't cause that. I think it's the pain medication, but he's always taken the pain medication, but I think he takes more of it now because he doesn't have the alcohol. So, I don't know if it's not working or if it's just not working in my presence.
Well, apparently, like you said, it's working because you saw the remains of it. So I don't know why. I'm not trying to beat you up. I just don't know why you're questioning yourself when you've seen evidence. You've seen the evidence. It's working. Why would he go and do that if he loved you? Why? So, you don't catch somebody the first time, Rebecca. The first time people don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as you said car salesman, I said to myself, I'd fucking call the car lot, not his phone, and say, hey, is whatchamacallit working there? You know what I'm saying? And see if he's even there. Because you don't really have to keep a schedule. And you could go out to lunch a lot. And all of a sudden, like you said, if he was so sexual before, where'd it go now? And even if he couldn't get it up, well, clearly something happened with the condoms, and the idea of him having the other two women. But then what about the affection? Like all of that's gone. Like his dick doesn't work, so he can't hold hands anymore.
And
Is that
that's what I said to him.
any men in the comments here when your pee-pee doesn't work, can you still hold hands? Do you still kiss? I think you do. I mean, I don't think we have any guys in the comments here, but
No, it's like there's, and that's what I try to say to him. And it causes an argument. He doesn't want to talk about it. And, he was supposed to be going to a doctor to see what's wrong with it, to fix it. And it never happened because he's not going to go to the doctor because it works. I mean, if the nurse touches it, it's going to pop up and poke her in the eye.
If it didn't work, he would be making sure it worked. How many men would just sit there and accept that? I don't know one man that would sit there and accept that. Oh, it just stopped working. We'll just call it a day for the rest of my life. Can you see any man? If somebody was telling you this story, would you believe them? Would you believe the guy in the story? I'm just asking you.
I totally wouldn't, and I don't. I'm living it, and I know that nothing happened that made that thing stop working except him. He doesn't want it to work with me. And so that's fine, but we need to part ways. We can't continue like this. It's not fair.
Because you're supporting somebody that doesn't want anything to do with you besides have a house over his head and meals cooked.
Right. And he's using me, basically. That's what my daughter Brianna said. He's got it made. He's a kept man.
Good for you, Brianna, because that's not my mom. I would have said that an hour ago. I love you, Rebecca, but I would have said
No, she told me this weekend.
Now I'm just going to mirror it. He's taking advantage of you.
He just, he doesn't see it that way, though.
Can I tell you what I think? I think that while you went through this horrible time in your life and you were broken, and that's fair, right? You lost your son, you lost your grandson, and, Corey in the most horrific way. And it wasn't that he just died. You went through the time when he was being abused and there was nothing you could do about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you were living through that time too. So that person isn't the person who you are today. You're a stronger individual today. So he might be used to the person that, she's not paying attention. She's so broken. As long as I do this, she's all right. I don't need to do more. And now you've come out of that, which you should, obviously you want to. And he just doesn't want to recognize it for whatever reason. And that's on him. But as long as he keeps trying to make you stifled, right, for lack of a better word, and for Archie Bunker, where does that benefit you?
Exactly. I think he wants me to be.
This is a great piece of advice right here. Absolutely. Short and simple. Absolutely.
Oh, no, exactly. Like I said, I consulted with an attorney last week. That was my plan. I gave him one last opportunity. And, this is it. He proved himself over the weekend that he's content being the way he is and he's not going to change it. So now I know what I have to do. It was just the weekend and I couldn't get the attorney, now I can today and tell him I want to move forward. But I just want to mention, I think while I was mentally checked out, with the whole Corey situation with my son, he was probably enjoying that because I wasn't paying attention to where he was and what was going on. He probably has carried on an affair. I kind of think he's seeing someone and has been, because he doesn't come home. Like, he's scheduled certain hours at the car dealership. And he used to call and tell me, oh, I got a customer coming at 5:30. And I'd say, well, you're supposed to leave at 4. Well, I don't want to miss the deal. And okay, whatever. And now he doesn't even call. He just doesn't come home until whenever he feels like coming home. Right. And it seems to be he's working late nights all the time, which tells me, something. But, I'm not even upset about that. I just want him out. I don't want him doing this in my home. Do your own thing. But I think way back when I was going through everything, he was probably having a different life, but I didn't care at the time. But he said to me last week, I try to be on here and do this show with you, Toddie, and I'm trying to do the YouTube thing, and I'm trying to be relevant and do something in Corey's honor. And he said to me, "You think you're a celebrity?" That's what he said to me. I said, "Because I go on YouTube in my pajamas without combing my hair and talk to people, I think I'm a celebrity." I think he resents what I'm doing because I think he feels like this is giving me power and courage. And he's probably right, because I have support from people that if I didn't come on here, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't be
There
talking
you go.
to people.
I went back to this comment. I didn't pin it. I'm pinning it now.
You're right. Yeah. No, I feel like
That's
he
exactly
resents
what
it.
you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying.
He resents it. He told me I think I'm a celebrity. Do any of you think I think I'm somebody on here? If I thought I was a
Oh, I
celebrity,
definitely think you're somebody.
well, you know what I mean. Do I come on here with the attitude like I'm superior and I feel like, am I acting like Gypsy Rose? Like I'm somebody
Let me
important
tell
to
you
everybody?
something. It doesn't matter. People think what they think. Again, you can't let them determine who you
Right.
are. There's people that think that I do that, and I know where my heart's at. I know who I am. I cannot please everybody, so I'm not. I'm pleasing
Right.
me because I hold myself to a higher level than anybody could ever hold me to. And if I get there, I know I've met everybody else's expectations that are important to me, because I hold myself to a really high moral and a ground of integrity and truth and honesty. So if I meet that, fuck everybody else. Pardon me,
Right.
but
No,
fuck everybody else. I'm 62 years old. I've been working on my integrity for 62 years, and I feel like I'm there. Not 100%, but I am 99.9%. I think as long as we have breath in us, there's a reason we're here, and we continue to grow and learn and change. And otherwise, I think that's when our time is over. You know what I mean? So for every breath we're here, I think there's a purpose in it. God gave us a gift, right, of life. My feeling is I'm supposed to give the gift back in the way I live my life.
Right.
So, and there's people that don't feel that way. There's people that are just destroying people in this world. People walk through people's lives like they're bulls in china shops. They have no regard.
Right.
I don't want to be around those people. I don't even have the patience for those people anymore.
Right.
So it's exactly the way, like, we teach people how to treat us.
I know.
And boundaries are just so important. And I know it's hard. It's hard to let go of a 15-year long relationship. I know that. But if all it's doing is making your future look like shit, I mean, do you think you only have 15 more years of life to live? And this is the way you want to live it? Of course not.
No, and that's what I said to him. I don't want this to be how I die, with someone, that I don't feel loved by and cared. I don't feel that about him anymore. And he used to be very good like that. And we weren't doing anything else, but he would be very attentive. Let me rub your back. I'll rub your feet. Do you want me to put lotion on your feet? Or I have this ointment I told you guys about that I put on my back. He won't even touch me. Not even if I asked him, he would flip out. Like at this point, he won't even look at me. If he does look at me, I'll catch him looking at me, and he's looking at me with this look of disgust. Like
that's not healthy for you to have that in your own home.
No, and I'm like, listen, we all change over time. Our bodies change. We get wrinkles. I think I always say I've aged a lot more because of the stress that I've dealt with. I know I have. I know I have, and I feel it and I see it. I went through a physical injury and surgeries and things, not to mention all the emotional stuff I went through. I know I've changed, and but so has he. Do you know what I mean? He's not in the same shape he was in. He's not.
Yeah, Rebecca, that's ridiculous talk, in my opinion. Because
I know. I mean, for him to look at me like in that way, because
that's his issue. That has nothing to do with you. That is all on him. That has nothing to do with you. Nothing at all to do with you. Because if he truly loved you, he wouldn't be looking at your looks anymore.
Exactly.
You just don't. You don't. Half the time you're just looking at that person. You just see love. Not every day are you in love with them, but I think every day that you actually are in love with somebody and that's your person for that time,
right.
you at least love them, even
Right.
when you're so angry at them. You still like, you still want to walk away, but it's like you still love them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that you look with your eyes anymore at that time. You know, I mean, somebody gets dressed up, obviously you say, oh, you look beautiful. You pay compliments because they're nice to hear, you know, and maybe a red shirt might bring out somebody's color or something. You know what I'm saying? Like those are just like, but you really stop looking, I think.
I agree with you. But I could see him at times looking, and he just has this look on his face like, oh, like, oh my God. And it's funny because I was married for 23 years the first time to my kids' dad, my children's father. And
Right.
I mean, 23 years, I've seen it all with him. I was never embarrassed to undress and get changed for bed in front of him. I'd sit on the toilet while he was in the shower.
Right.
You don't look at each other that way.
Right, exactly.
And, I never felt like he was judging or like he was going to look at me and say, oh God, I can't touch her. I never felt that way with him.
Right.
And with this one, even from day one, when we first met, I was always very private because he was always so judgmental. And he even told me, and I don't know what was wrong with me. He even said to me very early on, you're not even in my league.
Yeah, clearly you said that.
And,
but you did that to yourself. You've done that to yourself a few times today because you've said, oh, he's really good looking. Oh, you know what? That's a fucking shell.
Yeah,
that is a shell. Exactly. Most people that are good looking are the most fucked up people. I hate to tell you.
And he used to be.
I'm telling you, they're the most fucked up people. I think that I've come. Yeah, I think that they're just the most fucked up people.
Yeah, but it was one thing. He was good looking, kept himself in good shape, always dressed nice, and he was nice too. When he was doing the right things, then that's okay, whatever. But he would always tell me when he was drinking, like, I would never even looked at you. I got together with him when he was going through something and I was going through something, and that's how we ended up together. But he used to tell me when he was drinking, if I wasn't going through that, I never would have gave you a second chance. I never would even looked at you. Not a second chance, but I never would gave you a second look. You're not even in my league. And I said to him one night when he was drunk, he used to get so nasty when he would drink. He would just say horrible things to me. And I got a mirror and I brought it over to the bed. And I said, look in this mirror. Do you see the Ken doll in this mirror? Because I don't. I see a washed up has-been. You're nobody. Like I was so angry that he was telling me, all these horrible things. And not to mention I'd seen his phone and he's texting this other girl who knew me and knew I was in a relationship with him. And she's entertaining him through text. So
Rebecca, what do you think he's up there doing in the room now that you've said that out loud and heard that? I mean, what do you think he's doing in that room by himself?
I can't believe that these behaviors have all stopped. Just all of this has stopped. You're not going to make me believe it. And so I have a lot of resentment. And, for that, if I have to babysit someone and check their phone and I don't need to be with that person. And I know this. And now I feel I have my own home now. That's off my checklist. I'm paying for it. He's not paying for it. Why have the aggravation? My life would be just so much less stressful without him in it. And he can move on and go do whatever it is he's going to do. I don't even care at this point. The other night when I had him kicked out of my room and he was downstairs, he came in from work, and a little while later he knocked on my bedroom door and I said, sorry, entertaining, I have company. He didn't even get upset. All right, let me know when you're done. What's that tell you? What's it tell me? It told me a lot. He didn't care if I was in there with somebody, and I was joking. There was nobody in there, me and my dog. I mean,
Right.
He didn't even get
He
upset.
probably didn't even think about it.
No,
He probably didn't even think about it. I think that you've spent a lot more time thinking about this
probably.
than he has.
You know,
I want to ask you a question, CJB. I don't know if this so you're the only guy that we know that's in here. So that's why I'm asking you.
Oh, we have a man here?
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Okay, yeah, CJB. He's usually here on Mondays. He's got his own channel on TikTok. He's a comedy guy. He sings. He sings about Gypsy Rose. He was singing. I was singing with you, and actually, there was a part of the song I was like, oh, he should have sang literally right there. It would have gone so perfectly. But anyway, yeah. So anybody on TikTok, CJB comedy. So
I'll have to check it out.
yeah. So I want to ask you, CJB, and I mean, this probably hasn't happened to you. You're young, I believe. You're viral. But if at any time your pee-pee couldn't get hard, well, let's do this. Do you kiss friends? Do you just kiss a woman friend on the cheek? Are you able to hold hands with your pee-pee not getting hard? Are you able to do that? And I'm asking for a reason, because it seems like Rebecca's partner has said that because his pee-pee doesn't work anymore, he can't even hold hands or kiss somebody. And we had no males in here. Now, I don't believe that for a second, but I want to know, being you're the only male, and I hate to put you out there, tell me, will you,
Real quick,
are you
Toddie.
still able to kiss somebody and hold their hand? If
Toddie, I want to clarify something.
Okay.
He says it works. He just doesn't want to do it.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you said he went to he was going to
No,
a doctor.
he told me that he would go to the doctor to try to figure out why he doesn't want to do it. That's what he told me.
Oh, I misunderstood what you said.
It works. I've snuck under the covers and seen it up. It's ready and it's there. It still gets there, but he told me he doesn't have any desire. So
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anybody in the comments heard that? Anybody in the comment heard that, or they just heard it?
I didn't say it that way. I just said it doesn't work. Let me.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't.
He said he was okay.
He mentally won't allow it. He fights it. Like he won't allow it to work. He says it works fine. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't have any desire. That's what he told me.
Okay.
So, but
well, it's how long you going to put up with it?
Yeah, it's been 5 years since it. Probably 6 since he's shown his face or whatever you call it.
I don't call that a face at all. I'm a gay woman. That is not something that I even want to look at or know about.
I'm starting to feel like I don't ever want to look at another one either, Toddie, to be honest with you. I've had no luck. I'm over it.
Anyway, CJB said that he was fine with being who he is, and yeah, so.
Yeah, no, it's just I know there's other things that can be done, if you're having a problem with, it actually working. He claims it works. He just doesn't want to. So that's a mental or that's in his head problem.
Well, no, that's just a lie.
Yeah, he just doesn't want it to work with me, I think. And that's okay. He can go out there and let it work with anybody else, but he just can't come back and live with me and be taken care of when it's happening.
Oh, no, I didn't see it. Hang on a second. I'm going to see CJ's. I guess he answered it and I didn't see it. You said I'm comfortable with who I am. It's all good. So is there one before then? I mean, I've had the same lady for 20 years and not problems with that, even on Lexapro, about to be 32 years old. I know he's been married for about 20 years. Hey, Mrs. J, nice to see you. So you see, there's love, there's commitment. This isn't what's going on with you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you could save it. To me, what I would do isn't important. It's what
I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do for me. And I was basically just sharing my story with everybody, not so much. I mean, I appreciate the advice that comes in, But I already know what I need to do.
The main thing is everybody thinks that you are worthy and beautiful, Rebecca, and that's what you need to believe, and you are.
I
You
appreciate
are.
that. I thank you all for saying that. It feels nice to hear that, when you get beat down, and I don't mean physically,
Right, right,
when you
right.
start to feel like, gosh, maybe it is me, maybe, but I'm not one of those that's going to change myself for somebody else's benefit. This is it. This is what you guys see. This is me. I mean, if I'm invited somewhere nice where I have to put clothes on, I'll do that and I'll look nice, but that I don't get up and do makeup and hair and nice clothes. That's just not me, and it never has been. He didn't find me like that, and I'm not going to become that. That's not me.
I didn't know that, CJB. I did not know that. Well, I did not know that. So I
Oh,
don't know
wow.
who, but thank you. I guess it's saying his wife watched my channel and she got him into watching me. I
Oh,
did not.
that's so cool, right? That's pretty
Absolutely.
neat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no, I'm not even going to put that up there. That's just not, I don't think he's gay. You don't think he's gay, right?
Oh, I don't think he's gay, but I think he's probably switched teams in his drunken days. I'm sure, I'm almost certain of it. Is that even the proper term? I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because this is all on him. It doesn't matter if let's say he's gay.
That's fine.
It's still the same situation for Rebecca. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the situation is the same for Rebecca. He doesn't seem to want her. He seems to be taking advantage of her. So
Right.
whatever it is, it's not okay.
No.
It's simply not okay. And it's not going to change unless you do something to change it, because you're right. He's very comfortable. He's doing what he
Yeah,
wants. He's doing it rent free.
exactly. He's living life right now. He's got a
I
great
mean, he's
life.
living rent free and everything. And I mean, he's not paying anything.
Exactly.
So, and he's going to continue doing that because you're letting him do that. So either he's going to be a roommate and you're going to have to accept that it's over, and he's going to either start paying rent, or you're just going to say, I don't want to deal with this shit, and you got to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that's going to work for you because he gets mail at your house.
Yeah, there's a lot of legal things behind it that it's going to be difficult to remove him, but the attorney can do it. It's just going to cost me money, more money, and at this point, I feel like I have to do it because it's the only way to get him out legally. I can't just put him out. I can't just go home and say, you have to go. It can't work that way. So I have to do it this way, and it's going to take some time. And, when I had the consult last week, the attorney said, just try to keep the peace, keep things as whatever, however. When I told the attorney I took all the food and the toilet paper and everything out of the house, he kind of chuckled. He thought that was kind of funny. I said, well, I bought it. Why do I have to support him? If he wants to wipe his ass, he can go buy his own toilet paper or whatever.
Right.
But I thought, okay, now I'm being ridiculous. We're grown-ups. We're going to talk. And we did have a talk, and I thought he was going to do the right thing, and he proved that he's not. And so that was it. I gave him one last chance to redeem himself, and he didn't. He just, I think he has, even prior to being with me, I think he has issues with women in general. His mother, before me, obviously, he had an issue with his mother. Their relationship, he doesn't really have one with her or anybody in his family. Um, he was married once before. He's never had children. And I had reached out to his first wife. They were divorced when I met him very early on, when I noticed some things. And she just told me, I don't want to talk about him. I want to forget that part of my life. She wouldn't even discuss him.
Wow.
So that said a lot to me.
I had to plug my computer in. I'm sorry.
But, so he has some issues. I know he has issues with women in general. I think he wants me to fall over at his feet thinking he's a god or something, because that's what he was used to. When we went to school together, he's right. I wasn't in his league. I hung out with the burnouts and the stoners and the hippies, and he hung out with the jocks and the in crowd. That wasn't my crowd. So yeah, he's right in a sense. I wouldn't even talk to him back then. He wouldn't talk to me. We didn't hang out, because we were in different circles. We knew all the same people, but he's so used to back in his heyday in school being a top athlete and everything. The girls were throwing themselves and, oh, Richie, he could have anybody he wanted. And I think he still thinks he's got that. But as a grown up, that's not even important.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
It really doesn't matter.
He hasn't outgrown that phase, though. He still thinks he's 18-year-old Richie on the soccer field or the baseball field, the pro athlete. And he's not. And he hasn't comprehended that yet. He thinks that women think he's a gift and that we should throw ourselves at him. And when I think I probably am one of the few that ever said to him, honey, look in the mirror. I mean, you see what I see? You're not all that. Like, just enough with that. Grow up. And he can't stand that I'm not falling at his feet, because everybody should. And it doesn't happen. I'm not doing it.
I understand.
But
I don't really care what his problem is. I care how it's affecting my friend.
And I'm going to fix it. I know what I need to do. I just wanted to share something, here that I felt was relevant to the group. I know what I need to do, and, I'm going to do it. But I wanted to share it in the group, and hopefully other people, I laid it all out there for you. You know what I'm going through. So hopefully that encourages others. This is a safe place. If I didn't feel comfortable and safe here, I wouldn't have just told you my whole life story. And you guys, I've been keeping this in. I've been living this.
So let me just say something. It's not only exclusive to men. There are women like this too. So.
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you find the strength to, there were a lot of people that related to it. I saw it in the chat. Somebody asked if we had an open panel for this. Yeah, it's not necessarily for it's for life's problems, absolutely. I don't want it to turn into just a bitching on spouses channel, though.
Right. Oh no, definitely not. Like, that wasn't my goal.
I know that. I just want to say that now. I mean, there are situations that we get into, but this isn't something that, in situations where somebody wants to come in and tell their story about a relationship and how they got out of that relationship is fine. And, in the comments and stuff, giving each other advice and stuff like that.
Right. And Toddie, I want to mention the only reason I shared is because it's related to addiction and
oh, absolutely. Listen, this is your channel too, so there's not a problem with that.
I wouldn't have just brought up my dirty laundry if it had nothing to do with addiction and our topics, So definitely, I felt it was important to bring it up because it does have to do with, what.
Yeah, because how people listen. It could be very true that well, now, it's different than what I thought. I was going to say, listen, medication can, cause sex drives and things like that. I was talking more about the daily medicine he was taking, but it does work. He just chooses not to let it work. So that's
right. And that's what he says. Now, he says he doesn't want to do it. He has no interest. He says the actual unit works. And
right.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny it. I know that sometimes, when men wake up.
But I thought, wait a minute, I'm trying to understand. And I'm not trying to do this to you, especially, and you know me better. I'm just trying to understand. I thought it didn't work because of the shot. And that
that's what he said. And then when I confront him with it, because this is a conversation.
Oh, okay. So he gave you two
different stories. It'll work. I just don't want it to.
I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
No, I probably didn't say that early on, but he claims that first it was from the shot, and then when I kept saying I've researched, I've asked, I've called doctors' offices and talked about this with people. I've asked my own physician. He goes to my primary care doctor, and never once did he address that with her, because I saw my chart. It never came up. And that's what he was going there to address, how to, but it never came up in the conversation on my chart, because they put the visit notes. He never brought that up. But, he claims that he just has no interest. And I said, well, then you need to go to a psychiatrist and a therapist and find out why that you suddenly have no interest. For, you went from running around showing it to everybody. And then,
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to answer it on here. But did at any point you say, are you still attracted to me?
Oh, I've asked him that, and he just said, get out of here, whatever. Like, he won't answer it. He avoids that question. I'm not what he only came to me because he had nowhere else to go when we got together. He was living at home. He had gotten divorced a few years prior, moved back home to his mother. They don't get along. They were going through some stuff, and she wanted him out, and he came to move in with me. He only came to be with me because he had nowhere to be. Did he begin to have feelings for me? I do think so. I think he loved me at one time. I don't think he does anymore.
And he could have loved you, but was it the type of love that you build a relationship?
No, I think it was love, like for a friend who saved him from something, like gratefulness or whatever.
Yeah, well, okay. And listen, I understand that, and you understand that. So if you were to go to him and say, hey, listen, without losing it or anything, just say to him, hey, listen, I've reflected on this, and this is the way that I feel. I mean, can't you talk to him about that? Because you're trying to hang on to something that was never there. Even you're saying it, that it was never there.
He just, when I try to talk about everything, he says, I don't know what your problem is. I'm fine. Everything's fine. There's not, what's the problem? He doesn't see the problem. I said, the problem is we live in the same house and we don't communicate unless I text you while you're at work. We don't have a conversation. You shut me out. You walk past and through the house like nobody's there. It's like he's coming into an empty house when he comes in after work. And, you go in, you get in your pajamas, you go downstairs, you fill up your Stanley cup with ice and Pepsi, and you go back up to bed like nobody exists. It's not like, oh, what'd you make for dinner? Let's sit and have dinner.
Yeah, because you're more like a mom to him, a mom that he gets away with.
Like a teenager coming in. Yeah, he's like a teenager coming in. Drop your clothes on the floor. Mom will get them later. Leave your wet towel in the bathroom. Mom's got it. Don't worry about it. Add a shampoo. Just leave a note for mom. Let mom know you need it. That's what I feel like. And I don't want to be his mother. I have my own children. I don't want to be a mom to him. And I want to be able to, he never can, you can never just call him and say, hey, let's go to dinner tonight. Oh, I don't like doing stuff like that.
What, eating?
Yeah, that's what I said. What do you mean, eating or going out in public? What? Like everybody, I don't have time. I work. I'm like, everybody works. I mean, you think all those people eating out in a restaurant right now don't work? I mean, they go home from work, they go out to dinner. He always has an excuse. Well, there's alcohol and I'll want to drink if I'm there. Well, we've gone down the shore for weeks at a time. We've gone here, we've gone there. It never caused him to want to drink. I think he uses that as an excuse. He just does not want to go out. And then, of course, part of me starts thinking like the crazy woman, oh, maybe he's afraid we'll run into his girlfriend if we're out and she'll know that he's still with me and having, a relationship. Does he have a girlfriend? I don't know. There's so many things I could tell you that everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, he's definitely screwing this one if I tell you the story. So I don't need to tell you because I have a feeling he probably is seeing.
You know what, Rebecca, it doesn't matter. He's not giving you what you need.
Right.
Just stop there. Just stop there. He's not giving you what you need.
Right. And that's what I said.
The rest isn't your business. He's not giving you what you need, and he just needs to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what he's doing elsewhere. He's not, and if he's screwing somebody else, you don't want to be screwed by him.
Right. No, exactly.
Do you? I mean, you really want that after that? You don't know what he's doing.
Toddie, I can tell you part of that is after I found out about the escort service, the two girls, it was very detailed in text what he wanted when he got them, what he expected them to do. And he even got to pick the type of girls that he wanted. I saw the whole text.
How long ago was that?
This was 2019.
Okay.
So when we ended up getting back together after his stay in rehab, I didn't want to sleep with him anyway because of those girls. And he assured me nothing happened. I wasn't able to do it that night. Well, I saw the evidence that something happened unless there was another man in there and he left his
condom
deposit in there, in several of them. Something happened. Somebody left a deposit that night.
Right.
Who else was there? And so even, since then, like I said, I haven't wanted to be intimate with him because I'm sorry, but you hire two whores. That's what they are. They get paid to screw. So they screw for a living, and then he's going to sleep with them or do whatever he did with them. So I really didn't have any desire to be with him after that, but I was going through things. So he was just there. So I didn't pursue it because I really didn't want it because I didn't know what he had done with them. Well, I kind of knew, you know what I mean, though. I just didn't, so would I eventually have wanted to do it again with him? I'm sure. I mean, I have, but I have wanted to, but it never happened. So he gave up too. Like he just didn't try because he first said it was the Vivitrol shot. And then he told me he just doesn't have any desire. He doesn't want to. And I always say, yeah, but if somebody else was laying next to you, you'd be doing it. And
I don't know why you would put, if that was already in your mind, why would you go year after year after? I know that things were going on in your life, horrible things. You lost your grandson, you lost your son.
But yeah, and that was just I never thought about him. He wasn't a priority, and my relationship wasn't a priority.
It's kind of like your arm hurts, but you break your leg heals and your arm hurts. You know what I mean? Then you recognize, oh shit, my arm hurt too. It's just my leg hurt more. I get it. But now you got it. So now you know it. There's no question. Somebody said you don't have to figure him out. All you got to do is figure out what you're doing. Your days
Did you see the comment, Toddie? True rebel, as a guy who has been in these situations, I can give you some insight here. That's coming from True Rebel.
Go ahead.
Talk away. I'm interested.
I didn't know True Rebel was a guy. Please tell us. I mean, I don't know. M. Cook is a guy too. I just learned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's Edie Cook's husband. And I didn't know that. And I'm yelling at the guy one day in my comments for going after Jamie, who I used as a moderator. You'd think Jamie would have said, hey, listen, I know this person. We're going to banter a little bit. Nope. I go at him and then I get a text message. That's Edie Cook's husband.
Oh, well. But, Mrs. Robinson says she hopes I find the happiness I deserve. Thank you. I'm very happy. Aside from what's going on, if I could just remove that, I would be 100% whole. I know what I need to do. And like I said, I've already started the process last week, gave him another opportunity to redeem himself, and he failed to do that. So, but, Toddie, are you talking? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hang on.
Oh, now I can. I couldn't for a minute.
Okay. So you got a comment here, and this person is nice enough to say, I don't mean to be mean, but I want to be, I don't mean to be brutal, but I want to be truthful. So I'm asking if you want this person to tell you.
Listen, bring it. Listen, I'm ready to hear it.
Listen, man, just the only thing I ask is please don't get my channel shut down, please.
Yes, we don't want that.
So yeah, you could be just with some respect, please, as respectful as you could be, please.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the other side that I don't know, of course.
Okay, so here we go. One, if he went through the trouble of testing texting escorts than he could perform. I agree. If his heart was into making love to you and he was having problems with an erection, wait a minute. Hang on, I'm trying to get to it. He would try other ways to please you. That's absolutely true.
Bingo, exactly. We've had this conversation.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he spent $1,800 on escorts. So he kept them for a while, as far as I know, unless they're that much money, and I don't know. But he did something. The evidence was there. I know he performed that night. And he just doesn't choose to do, because I allowed it. And that's what I allowed it, and he just went with that. He's living on Easy Street pretty much. And I allowed it. I know that.
Okay.
I know that.
And
But,
this is definitely from somebody in the UK. It's from Mrs. J, who we do Scientology stuff together. But I had to say that because, you know, wanker.
oh my gosh. But
thank you, True Rebel. True Rebel, 1,000,000% thank you. And that was very kind. And
I appreciate
I 1,000,000% with you.
I appreciate your honesty. I've known this. It's not something I didn't think of. I know that.
So then let me ask you a question, Rebecca. Not to put you out there, but you know, you're one of the channel members. I mean, obviously this is our show. And if you don't want to answer it, I don't want you to answer it. So you know all of this and you came on here. What were you looking for? Because everybody has gone through something like this. So when I say what were you looking for, I'm saying what would the average person who already has their answer, they already know what's right, what holds them up, and what are they looking for when they tell people? What is it that they want in return? Right. And yeah, so
well, I wanted to share because we come on here weekly and we talk about all of these things, and here I felt like it was such a secret I was keeping in. And I wanted to be honest with everybody. Yeah, I'm going through the same shit they're all going through, and I can talk about it. And I wanted to encourage them. I'm putting my whole life out here to you people today. I wanted to encourage anybody that's watching, like, this is a safe place. No, none of you are judging me as far as I can tell. I feel comfortable.
Wait till the comments come. Wait till the replay.
Yeah, well, then that's when all that's when everybody gets their balls on, when they're not face to face, and that's okay too. I'm used to that, trust me. But my goal was, I appreciate all the comments that people, and the encouragement, and that everyone's saying, you got to do that. I know what I need to do. I wasn't coming on here because I'm lost and don't know what to do. I was already planning last week when I consulted the attorney. I know what I need to do. My goal to come on here, I want to talk, first of all, because this is my therapy session as much as it is for a lot of the people watching.
Right.
I wanted to tell my story because I want you guys to all know you can come on here and look what I talked about, my boyfriend's pecker. I mean, you can come on here and talk about anything. We're okay with, well, keep it clean. I guess we got a little dirty, but we're here. And if I can do it, you guys can come on here and tell us, and we can talk through things. Right. My goal wasn't for anybody here to solve my problem. I know what I need to do to fix it. I just wanted to share with you what I'm personally going through behind the scenes that none of you knew. Toddie didn't know this. I never shared this. But, it kind of came to a head this weekend, and I wanted to share it. I want to let you guys know what I'm going through, and everybody goes through something. And this happens to be what I'm dealing with right now. And I just needed to share. And, I have compassion, empathy for people struggling with addiction. And it's just, I can't be in a relationship with someone who's struggling. It's just not for me. I can't do it. And I won't. I can't handle that. And I was just being truthful with all of you. I can come in here and talk about it with you. It doesn't mean I'm going to tolerate it in my own life. I live that life with my son, and I just don't choose to live my adult life with a partner like that. And that was my goal, to come on here and just talk.
Well, you got a lot of love in the chat here.
Thank you. But yeah, I just point is, anybody can come on here and talk to us. We're here. We're going to listen. We're not going to judge. We can all laugh about some of the things we talk about in all of this. I mean, we can find a little humor, I think, in everything. And, just know you can come here. Say what you want. We're here. I just poured out my whole life to everybody. So here we are.
So, Peppermint Patty, you're welcome to do that. You can hit me up at toddie1skip@gmail.com. And then I could send you, I would talk to you first just to get an idea of what you're talking about. And then, you could share next week if you'd like.
What did Jeanette say something about law enforcement? I'm sorry. Any interactions with law enforcement?
Where is that? I don't see that. Sorry.
I don't understand. Jeanette Schneider, maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Oh, here it is. Any interaction with law enforcement after what you've gone through and are so against their involvement is traumatic as fuck. That's what that means. Do something kind for yourself this week.
Yeah.
In other words, she's saying with what you shared about with the law enforcement and how they let you down in regards to the Corey situation, you already have trauma from that. So now you got to seek them for help. And you said you're not going to go to them. You wouldn't go to them. You know what I'm saying?
I can cut my arm off and I'm not calling 911 because they're going to send a cop first. I'll get myself to the hospital. Me and my arm will strap in the car and I'm not calling. I don't need the police or anything. There's no police matter. Nothing. I don't need them.
So this is interesting. Do you read that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. And I don't even know how to comment.
Well, I mean, there's strife, when things happen. This doesn't really apply to your story per se.
Yeah.
But what this person is saying is they had something happen in their life that changed them in a way that apparently made it better for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. Like I saw myself in my brother when he bitched about a coffee machine. I went to therapy, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, shit, that's my bad behavior too.
Right.
So
oh yeah, no, True Rebel. I don't justify. I know what he's doing is not appropriate, and it's not for me. I'm not that girl. You're not going to do that to me and get away with it. I've kept him afloat all these years, and now it's time for me to move on. I don't owe him anything, and I need to live. We never know. I could drop dead tomorrow. This is how I want to go out. I would love to have someone to get up and go out to dinner with, go away for the weekend. He's not the one. He's never going to do it. He's never going to come out of that room. He doesn't even want me to come to bed until I'm ready to fall asleep because he doesn't want to have conversation with me. I'm not living like that. That's ridiculous. He's like a nurse on the night shift. Did you take your sleeping pill? Here's your medicine, because he wants me to shut up and go to sleep because he doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you need to get away from that because if you surround yourself and keep living in that environment, you're not going to feel very good about yourself.
No, and I'm just starting to feel better about myself after everything that I went through. We all said, my family, my daughters, like, we want to live. We want to live now in the present. We don't want to live in the past. What happened was horrible. Corey and Gina will never be forgotten. We make sure of that, but we have to live. We're alive and here and present, and we have to live, and we have to have fun, and we have to enjoy life. We can't stop living because we lost them. And this isn't my idea of living. I want to enjoy whatever time I have left. I mean, I think we all feel that way. You never know what's going to happen. I don't want to go out of this world not having enjoyed my last few years here. I'm going through a health scare right now that I haven't, shared with a lot of you or any of you probably. I could get bad news when I go to the doctor this week. Can you imagine this is how I'm going to go out? And having not shared life with someone who I know is there and going to hold my hand on my deathbed. No, he's going to have his hand in my wallet for my debit card, I don't trust him.
I didn't know that. I don't know what this means, Deborah. O.M. Toddie, does that mean oh my? I don't know what that means.
Oh, possibly.
I don't know what that means. Kick him out. They said, kick him out. You already pay everything.
Yeah, no, I know. I know I can do it on my own, and it's just there's a legal way to
This
get
is
him
cute.
out.
You could read this. This is cute.
Oh, that's that's a good one. Yeah.
And if that doesn't work for you, I'll send you a vibrator.
Listen, I'm happy.
You're friendly enough. I'll send you one. You don't even have to go to the store. You can do it by mail now, I believe. Listen, it'll probably treat you better. It'll be
I'm happy.
At least it will perform for you when you pay for it.
Yeah, I'm happy with a cupcake and a good Netflix show. Listen, somebody to just talk to. I you get to a certain age where that's not the most important part of a relationship, but it is part of it. And you can't just abandon somebody, and not. I mean, that's my opinion.
No, I agree. I mean, the least he can do is show you some affection, make you feel important. That's what your partner's supposed to do.
Exactly.
Make you feel important. Like they're lucky to have you. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Exactly. Buffy Love wants to know if I have a toothbrush. Yes, I happen to have one of those electric battery operated ones, but I usually tend to keep it in my mouth.
You're not a Gypsy Rose, Blanche.
I'll have to ask her for instructions, I suppose, if I get to that point.
She's doing cameos, so that you might want that. There you go. Do a cameo. Gypsy, how do you exactly use the toothbrush to pleasure yourself? There you
That'll
go.
have to be, you'll have to teach me to do a live. I'll get the toothbrush and ask for help. Help, Gypsy, help.
This is a legitimate question. You don't have to answer it, but it's awesome.
No, I welcome some alone time. I have a lot of thoughts in my head.
That's not, no. I got to keep it real. I hear you. That's not the question. That's not the question, Rebecca. And you don't have to answer it, and you might want to think about it. That's fine.
I mean, to be alone,
are you afraid? This is it. She's asking, are you scared to let go of this person and be alone and just wait? If somebody comes by, they might come by. But there's no guarantee. You might be alone when this guy leaves, and that could be an indefinite period. My mom found love at 87 years old. It might be then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
that's
I can honestly say 6 months ago, was I afraid to be alone? Yes. But I have evolved from that person. I financially, I'm not saying I'm wealthy, but I'm okay by myself. I can do that. I'm doing it by myself. That was one of the reasons why
you're not alone, but you're not alone, but he's still there. You are not alone.
No, but I'm not afraid to be. 6 months ago, I would have been not wanting to let him go. Now I'm okay. I am perfectly stable and comfortable to be by myself. I have other things to occupy. I don't need him to be next to me. He brings no comfort. There's no stability with him. He brings nothing. I'm okay to be by myself. And if somebody should drop in, then maybe that would happen. But I'm not looking for that. I don't need to replace him, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to jump into somebody else just for the sake.
You can't replace anybody. We can't replace anybody.
I won't go, get somebody else just to have somebody. I'm not doing that.
Okay, that's still not okay. So I'm going to ask you, and then I'm just not going to ask you again. So I'm going to put it this way. When he leaves, let's say it's over between the two of you. He grabs his stuff. He leaves, whether by police escort, whether because he finds somebody else, whether because he's just a nice guy and says, you know what, there's been enough shit in your life. I'm not making you happy. I'm making you worse. Let me leave. Okay, let's just say.
Right.
But he's gone. And now the thought, you have this big house, you're by yourself. you don't know when you're going to share your life again, or even if you're going to share your life again, because we can't see into the future.
Right.
How are you about that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
My problem is I've never experienced being alone. I always left one person for another and left it. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you people this, but listen, you know everything else about me. I got married after my first divorce. I married this young guy. He was a lot younger than me.
Wait a minute. You got married after your first divorce?
Yes, I've had
So
two
you were
husbands.
married and then you got married again.
Right. I was married, got divorced. I was married 23 years to
Okay.
my children's father. We got divorced and I jumped right into another relationship and married this young, I call him a young kid. He was of age, obviously,
Right.
30 or whatever he was.
Right.
I was much older.
We're going to have Bree saying there's two predators now. There's the Toddie. See who Toddie.
Oh, please. So, I jump into that relationship and jump into another marriage that never should have been. I feel awful for what I did to the guy, but I was so bad that I started a new relationship before I was out of that second marriage. And it's wrong. And I know that, but that was just me. Oh, I'm getting at, I got to find somebody. I'm not that person anymore. I don't need to find somebody. I'm perfectly okay to be alone. I know I'll be okay. I'll be better for it. It'll be, and like I said, I don't know. Will I stay alone for the rest of my life? I might. Who knows? We never know. You never know.
You gotta just start living for the day, man. You just gotta start. You can plan for the future, but live for the day. So here's what True Rebel is saying. It's probably more along the lines of scared to break routine. Sometimes even with a shitty person, if life semi works as humans hate change. And that I can tell you in jobs, right? A lot of times we stay in jobs we don't like just because we think it's harder to look for a second job. That's what I mean by don't take a permanent, like don't, because a situation is temporary and fucked, don't make a permanent situation fix a temporary situation. You know what I mean? Like you could, for instance, the job thing. So it's an inconvenience. It's a bitch for maybe a few months. But then when you get to that job, then you have what you wanted. So the 3 months of inconvenience was now worth the years of an employment where you really wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing when a relationship is over and done with, you're hanging on to memories. That's what you're fucking hanging on to. I mean, you're hanging on to memories because there's nothing in the future except what you're putting there in your head. And what you're putting there in your head is reflected. So it's a memory.
Right.
And you could want and wish and hope, but you can't put it into existence yet. They're working on that with AI, but yet you can't do that. So you have to say, what's going to make me happier? I know that if I'm by myself and I have control over the things that I have control over, which is very little, we only have control over so much. We only have control over ourselves. End of story. I don't even have control over these dogs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't control what they think. I can't control what they do when I'm not home. I just don't have control over that. I don't have control over my job. I only have control over how I can live my life.
Right.
Not even what I feel, not even what I think, but what I put out there. So I could feel angry. I could feel an immense of love for somebody, but what I put out there, that's only on me. And that's what I have responsibility for. That is all we have responsibility for.
Right.
Is how we show up. So if you feel like I got this, I know that I can count on me. I know that I will be there for me. I have a loving family. I know my life with this person is this way, and I know that this isn't making me happy.
Right.
Then the other thing is more, you can be happy by yourself. You like who you are. If you don't like who you are, then you got to go get therapy to like who you are, to leave the person, to make yourself at least not on the even scale of what's bad and what's bad. And you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yep, I know.
It really just becomes, I know there's heart involved no matter what. There's going to be heart involved whether you talk about it or whether you don't talk about it.
Right.
But, you have to kind of look at it as you're holding on to memories that don't seem like they're going to be part of the future because this person is making no effort and they're just making you more used to how they're feeling, making you more comfortable feeling like shit.
Right.
I mean, and when you look at that objectively, you wouldn't want that for anybody else. It's not how somebody said, and you must have read it because you were reading through the stuff, but
Right.
it said, this isn't what your granddaughter would want for you. It's
No.
not what and Corey would want for you.
No.
I mean, but more importantly, this isn't what you want for you.
Right.
And you already know that.
I know I don't personally want to be in this relationship. I can't even call it a relationship, honestly. There's nothing there. We share nothing in common, no bank accounts, nothing, he lives in the house that I bought and that I pay for. And that's there's nothing physical. We don't discuss household obligations, bills. He couldn't tell you when anything is, he doesn't look for a bill. There's no bills in his name that come to the house. He's like having a tenant, basically. I'm renting a room, except I lay in the bed next to him. But there's a divider in the bed. Do you know it? Not physically, it's not really there, but there is. Like, he knows not to cross over on my side, and I know. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's.
Yeah, this is something that might be very true. You should read this comment that I put there, and it's by a man.
Oh wait, not 15 years. It's been 6 years. 7 years.
But you guys have been together for 15 years?
No, 7 total. 7.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I may have said that in error. No,
you did. You definitely said that. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
7. But 7 years is a long time.
It is. Listen,
a lot of years.
Brian Anderson, 7 minutes is a long time for. So listen.
Yeah.
I got to throw some jokes in here, Rebecca.
Oh, I know. If I don't laugh,
Brian Anderson, he's still talking about her marriage, their marriage that was for 2 minutes. So
yeah. And, like I said, coming on here with you people and, I'm trying to do my own little YouTube thing. As you know, it's not, not doing a lot on it yet, but I want to. And, he mocks that and makes fun,
that happens to somebody. That happened to a friend of mine. And that person started getting recognized by people. And all of a sudden that person was on board.
Yeah, no, he wants, I don't even want him. He's not relevant in anything. He could bring nothing to my channel or anything that I do. We just are not compatible at this time. I think we were for a little while when I was okay with what he was doing, when we first got together. I didn't realize that he was an alcoholic. Did he drink when we first got together and we went out? Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't have a few drinks? I thought, it wasn't uncommon to go out and have wings and whatever. But I slowly started to realize he would have to cut those dates short because we had to leave because they were putting too much mixer with the vodka. He wanted just the straight vodka. That's how he drinks.
Right.
And I started to realize we couldn't stay out to dinner too long because the drinks weren't strong enough. He had to get home and make his own. And it would be ice with almost to the top with vodka with a splash of something on top of it. And I started slowly seeing this. And then people that knew him growing up, oh, you didn't know he's a big alcoholic. I'm like, no, I wish nobody told me, nobody, and here and now I'm in this relationship and everybody's coming out telling me about him. And, I started to see it very early on. And then he felt comfortable and started really showing his true colors, and I did what, like I said, I told him it wasn't for me. And he, went to rehab on numerous occasions, but the final straw was, with the hookers and all that. And, so I allowed him to do what he did to me. And I know that, but I'm no longer allowing it.
There you go.
Longer than that. I'm taking control of my life again. I've lost Corey. I've lost Gino. There's nothing I can do about that. But mentally, I'm stronger. And I'm going to live my life. And it's not going to be with him. It's not. I'm not going to continue to carry this baggage and have this. He's like an old piece of furniture that's too heavy to move out of a room. So you leave it there and you decorate it or something. I don't want that. I want to move that old TV. I don't want to keep it.
Well, that's what somebody said. And think of it as a living room. Move the living room around.
Yeah.
You know, at first you might not like it. It might not be comfortable, but after a while you keep walking in. It's like, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't, as much as he's done to me with the hookers and cheating in other, you know, with others and throughout the whole relationship, I don't wish anything bad for him. Move on. I hope you have a great life somewhere with someone or by yourself or whatever. I don't want to know about it. I just want him. I don't want him to be with me. I don't care where he is, but it just can't be with me. I don't, you know, am I going to miss him? Maybe a few years ago, I might have missed something about him, but currently, no, I can't think of anything because the bad times outweigh the good times. And we've not had any good times over the last several years. You know, like even I can recall going on our vacations down the shore and, you know, when he was drinking and we went on those vacations, I guess it was a good time because he was drinking and having a good time. So he would be more outgoing. But after the drinking, we would go on the vacations and the routine was we'd get to the hotel after 3, we'd go on the boardwalk, we'd have dinner, we'd take a quick stroll and back to the room in front of the TV. And that's where we stayed from 8 o'clock on. This is vacation. You know, he just isn't fun. And I blame it on, he doesn't want to be with me. So he's not having fun with me. So go have your fun with somebody and I'll do my thing. You know, we're just not compatible at this time. And he needs to grow up and accept it. Your free ride is over. Now you have to buy a ticket or you got to go. And that's it. And you know, that's my decision. But nobody else had anything to say. It was just all about me today, huh?
Well, I do have something. So, does anybody else? Does anybody? This is how I'm going to end the video. I'm going to end the video like this today. So, does anybody have anything else to say? So, guys, 4 years ago today, my late ex-wife died, and she took a Percocet that was had fentanyl in it. And I'm just gonna play this. I don't even know how long this is. I just grabbed some pictures, and this is the way I'm just gonna end today's video or today's show in honor of Jennifer, who I can honestly say she loved me and I loved her back. And even with the drugs, it was a very healthy relationship that we had because she was my biggest cheerleader. She was my biggest cheerleader up until the day she died, because 3 months before she died, I lost my dad. And she was the one that helped me through that. And we had already been broken up for almost 2 decades at that point. She was already living with somebody else. So I know what love looks like. I know what partnerships look like. And I'm just going to end this. Rebecca, I will call you later, or you can call me later. I'm just going to put Jen's face on here and run this. And then I'm going to just end this. I'm not going to say anything more. Guys, thank you for everything. God bless you guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody.